Right, this is Le'ilui Nishmat, my grandfather Avraham ben Mazal Tov, and also Le'ilui Nishmat Reuven Leib ben Chana, and to the success of all our friends and Hatzlacha of all our friends, especially codename Karen and Mike and George. So now, I am not a financial maven. I'm not a financial advisor. I didn't take finance. What I'm talking to you now is hopefully what I think is common sense. I see a lot of people make a lot of mistakes over a period of time, and I just made few points that I want to bring and share with you. Recently I came across someone who, what I think was making a nice amount of money, but actually ended up with nothing when he came close to retirement, with nothing. And it was so bad that he basically worked almost 6 months before his death. And I think that there is something that we should address because it's a matter of responsibility, and it has to do with halacha as well in terms of how you conduct your life. The Gemara talks about it and so on and so forth. So first of all, we need to understand that there is a big difference between wealth and income. A person is wealthy or can build wealth and not necessarily has to do with how much money you make. Income is how much money you bring home. Wealth is how much money you accumulate. And wealth is not income. It's two different things. And people don't understand that. People always go on how much money would I make rather than how much money could I save or how much could I build and so on and so forth. And you can really, come out to retirement, and we're going to use the number of 40 because that's about the average that people work is about 40 years, assuming, some people work more. Well, assuming from 27 to 67, that's 40 years of work. Just like people in the desert, Bnei is in the desert, you're going through a desert of 40 years of work. So wealth is not income. And what we should be doing is accumulating wealth. Now, what we need to realize is that we need to build wealth, not spend it. So when you make money, you need to make sure that you don't spend. I mean, there are expenses that you have to spend, but you'll see that you're spending so much more than what you actually need. So you need to save your money and build wealth with this, not just take it. You need to build wealth with it, and you can do so with very little money that you could, much less money than you think. For example, let's say you take $100 every month. Sam, you wanted to get a calculator, Mr. Accountant, even though you don't need it. You take $100 every month for 40 years. How much money would you have at the end over 40 years? That will be $48,000. Yeah. You're going to have $48,000 of only $100 a month. Now, how nice would it be that when you go to retirement, you get yourself a gift of $50,000 gift as a retirement bonus for yourself? Now, if you're going to take $100 a month, if you take $100 and divide it into 30, that will give you about $3 a day. $3 a day, that will be much less than what you spend on money without even, a day without even thinking about it. That would mean that your coffee at home you will have to make. You don't go buy coffee. A coffee at home should cost you about 50 cents. You need to get yourself a travel mug, when you're gonna go, so you can drink it in your car while you drive or whatever it is that you do. You drink your coffee, then you wash it, and then you don't need to go to the store and buy a cup of coffee, especially if you go to a fancier kind of a place. You're gonna be spending a lot of money. Instead of going out and buying yourself a bagel, make yourself a sandwich and then bring it to work or for breakfast, or skip all these things that you don't really need. Like people drink lattes in the morning and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're paying $5-6 just for that. And I just told you, if I'm spending $5 a day on pleasure, how much money would I have after 40 years? So, because if we said $3 is going to be 48,000, so it's going to be close to $70,000 that I'm saving on this $5 of coffee and a latte or Danish or whatever that is. The problem is that we are not able to build wealth because we have a sense of entitlement. We feel that we need to have an entitlement. We're entitled to this. We're entitled to have that. You don't. You want something, go ahead and do it. And we don't do it, and then people all of a sudden come and they go to retirement with nothing. They don't have any wealth. Now, this is $100 a month. Needless to say, if you're able to put to the side, and this is no income whatsoever, just taking the money, put it in the bank. I'm not talking about making income. Interest on it. I'm not talking about making interest. Needless to say, interest will give you more. Just on pure money, for 40 years, I'm going to deposit $1,000 a month. So instead of having $48,000, now I'm going to have $500,000. Now, the $1,000, you can tell me $1,000 a month is a lot, but how much have you bought during this month that you don't really need, but you bought it because you feel entitled to? Or because somebody else has it. What somebody else has is really none of your business. You need to do you need to live according to what it is. What your life is, what you want to achieve out of life. You can't compare yourself to your neighbor. So imagine now you save $1,000 every month. Again, this is no interest whatsoever for 40 years. You know what interest will be if you're going to keep on doing that for 40 years? You're going to have close to $700,000, if not more. Just pure little interest. So how nice would it be to go out on retirement with $500,000? And that's entitlement-free money. In order to do so, right? So what do? We spend it. We feel entitled. We go on vacations because I need to go on. Yes, everybody needs to go on vacation. Vacation, taking a break, is a necessary thing in order to continue performing on a high level. But when you go on vacation, you need to make sure that is a vacation. And that vacation, you're going to turn everything off. You don't go to a vacation with your kids. You don't go to vacation with your parents. You don't go with the vacation with anything else. You go on vacation to turn everything off. No telephones, no computers, no emails, nothing. You're basically going on, let's say, even 10 days or 2 weeks of completely shut off. And then you don't get burned out. Then you start able to perform because you're coming, you're reviving. When you go on vacation, when you go on vacation, when you haven't eat all, free-for-all eating, free-for-all this, you get tired. You're coming back from vacation. Ask anybody that does the regular way of vacation. They'll tell you, oh man, I came from vacation. I need a vacation from the vacation. So why did you go there? To spend money? Can you just see what it is?
Hello.
Okay? So these are problems that we have. And Donnie, tell him I'll call him in like 5 minutes. So now how do we use that? So we need to, for example, use our salary to build wealth. What does it mean? Let's say you're not making a lot of money. You're making only $60,000. And let's say you're going to be making $60,000 for the next 40 years. Okay? So Sam, take your calculator. How much is 60,000 times 40.
2,400,000.
In other words, in 40 years, you're going to make $2.5 million. Out of the $2.5 million, how much money are you actually going to save? You have used, $2.5 million. If you're going to take right now $2.5 million, you're going to be able to do tremendous things with it. Hopefully, not spend it all on a new Ferrari and a new Brooks Brothers suit or whatever the people buy. They have this kind of money. But you have a potential of making $2.5 million. You're not using any of these assets to build wealth. You're spending it in an irresponsible way. And why do we spend it in an irresponsible way? It's because we don't live with a budget. You must make yourself a tight budget where you know that every penny goes. Every dollar that comes in, you must give an account, just like you would do with your time on this earth. You will have to give an account where this dollar has gone to. If not, it means that you lost that money. So if you made $3,000 a month and you have no idea where the money went, it means that you lost this money. You need to know, and that means discipline. And that's what I told you. Without discipline, you're a failure. If you don't have discipline, you fail. You're never going to achieve anything. You need to have discipline. And having a budget means discipline. Now, after you have a budget and you know how much your expenses will be, so let's say, for example, you need to your expenses, you're paying for your car, and your must-have expenses, not extra ones that you need to have. Like, for example, you don't need to have the newest form of telephone out there. You need to have a telephone that works. You don't need to have a telephone that costs you $800. You don't. You're not that important. You don't need it. Get yourself a phone that works. Now, so let's say your budget is, your expenses, including food and everything, is $3,000. So how do I build wealth? Well, you got to figure out how you're going to live now on $2,500. Live below your means. Don't be like everybody else that lives above their means and then get into debt. Live below your means. Start cutting corners. The extra money that you make, right? Collect the money. If you're going to take, $100 a month extra, put it to the side. At the end of the year, you have $1,200 to buy clothes if you need to buy clothes. In other words, you need to work towards a goal when you save money. You have to know where this money is going. And that's what it means, making a budget. You don't do so, time is money. The same thing that you handle time is the same thing you're going to handle money, and at the end you waste it all and you end up with nothing. Must have a budget. You must have a plan where you know exactly what you're going to do that day. You need to know where your money is going. Another one is you need to marry a frugal spouse. If you're going to marry a woman who feels entitled, for you women, because you're all men, of course, if you are going to marry a wife or a spouse to that matter, that is more like a spout than a spouse, that the money goes away, that's going to be a problem. All your efforts are going to go in vain. All your efforts are going to go in vain. She needs to be on board with your mindset in terms of saving money, otherwise you're flushing it down the toilet at full force ahead. Your money is going to go faster than water down the Niagara Falls into your toilet. She needs to understand the importance of saving money. If she doesn't have that, and she's a spender and she likes to get a manicure every single, whatever, well, you got to have a problem. If you could prevent this, don't marry her, marry somebody else. Now, and that's a touchy thing, but again, that's one of the things when you go on dates, you need to ask the person, how do they handle the money? How do they handle the money? Do they share the same point of view of living on a budget? Or they are feeling entitled that they should have the life of rich and famous with a house at Great Neck with a swimming pool that we're never going to go in, just so the neighbor will say you have it. You don't care about the neighbors. They don't have to pay your bills. They don't have to look into your bank account. They're not going to come and help you when you're going to go in retirement, when you don't have money to buy diapers for yourself. I learned it from my grandfather, I learned it from my father, and I learned it from my father-in-law. All the way to death, they paid the way around. I didn't have to spend a penny. I was happy that I had to buy my father's tombstone. But everything else was paid. My father-in-law, my grandfather, everything. They arranged the funeral services, tombstone, everything. Don't go to your neighbors. Don't live according to your neighbors. Look at what's important to you. More than that, you have to start saving pocket money. I have a big bottle of 1.5 Kedem thing. Every time I have, besides quarters, the quarters I use for the machine, pennies, nickels, dime, everything like this, I put inside. It fills up. Now this is free money. I'm going to take it. I can buy something with it. I don't know, whatever amount of money is there. $40, $50. That's free money. I just found the bill of $50 in the street. It was not in the street. It's in, you know how much money your machine, your washing machine eats, or your sofa eats, or your car, and it's a miracle because this money seems to disappear. Always fall into the sofa, and then somewhere it's gone. You save something, take the money, put it, save this money. Eventually you're going to make. You're going to put it to the side. Another thing is to pay cash, not credit card. Don't believe what people tell you. You have to mail credit. That's a scheme that the credit companies tell you. Pay cash. You don't have the money, and then I learned from my father. My father did not have a credit card. He wanted something, he saved it. When he got the money, he paid for it. When my parents took a mortgage to buy the house, they worked like dogs. They worked so hard not to have a mortgage. Don't have debt. You have to finish your debt. Don't have that. Don't get into that. Whatever you can, finish it. Finish it. Finish it. If that means that you're not going to go for a vacation for 5 years to finish your debt, well, don't go to a vacation for 5 years to finish your debt. That means that you don't buy new cars. That means that you don't feel entitled to lease a car. Leasing a car, you have to be a moron. If leasing a car was so good, leasing companies would not be so eager to lease you a car rather than to sell you a car. You go to a car, buying a car, tell them, I'm going to pay for the car cash, straight. They're not going to like it. They're going to try to push something on you that you're going to take a loan. What do you think? They like you so much? No, they just don't make money on that. So look at exactly what the companies want you to do and then do the opposite. And then the same thing goes about renting. If you can buy something, so rent. But if you can, save money so you can put as much money as you can down instead of buying a house. If that means relocating your house, I know somebody that he has a hard time making money, but he sits on a house on Cugana Hills next to a nice place over there. He can turn his house around and sell it for $950,000, and he's mortgage free. So I said to him, buddy, sell your house, go to Florida, buy a house for $700,000. You have $300,000, start a business. But no, he likes his location. Don't fall in love with the location. The only location you should worry about is where your grave is going to be, not where your house is going to be. Move to a place, change. These are all the things mistakes that we all make all the time. We are not building wealth. Buy something. Do something to generate. The Gemara tells us, Rabbi Yitzchak says, "Le'olam yeshalesh adam et mamono." Don't put all the eggs in one basket. Allocate. Put some in a mutual fund. Put some in a business. Put some in cash. You know, as Jews, you always need to have cash. You don't know where the heck you're going to go. You need to have some money. These are mistakes that we all make. Avoid credit card. Credit card creates a sense of entitlement. I buy today, I'll worry about it tomorrow. No, if you don't have money, don't buy it. Before you're about to buy something, ask yourself, do I really need it? Do I really need it? Am I really going to use it? Do I really have it? What do I need it for? I have it already. I don't need more. Well, I give myself a little treat. If you're feeling so bad, go to a psychologist. It's going to be cheapest for you to go to a psychologist than to stop getting into the habit of giving yourself gifts. You want a gift? Not a problem. When you're in retirement, if you're going to retire with an extra $1 million in your pocket when everybody else has to work, that's your gift. Live like nobody else so you can live like nobody else. Have a great day.